Hey guys, it's Ornlu, and in the most recent balance patch, we saw a small change where the Mangudai had their movement speed nerfed from 1.45 tiles per second to 1.4 tiles per second. And that sort of got me thinking, okay, that's obviously a nerf, but what does that really mean? How fast are the units in relation to one another? Now, obviously, I know a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure most of you guys have an idea of like, okay, cavalry are fast, infantry are slow, siege units are really slow. So yeah, that's obviously, I'm sure you guys know that, but I thought it would still be useful to give you guys a sort of visualization of pausing the game. Now, of all of the different unit speeds there are in relation to one another, so in the world's first objective unit tier list, we're just going to go through and show you guys, okay, what are the slowest units in the game, what are the fastest, and how do they all sort of stack up compared to one another. So really simple here, just going to be a visualization. As soon as I click myself over here, all of the units here are just going to go across the map towards Genghis Khan and with the flags and stuff. So the Spearman here is just for a point of comparison because, spoiler alert, the Spearman has a movement speed of 1 tile per second, and you know, if you're wondering what the heck do you mean by 1 tile per second, boom, grid. I'll leave this on just, you know, give you guys a bit of a better visualization. So let's just go through this. Obviously, the slowest units in the game are the 2 rams here, the capped ram and battering ram. Not the siege ram, we'll get to him soon. But yeah, these guys, 0.5 tiles per second. So every second in-game is half a tile. Let's see that. Yeah, here, the Spearman, 1 tile per second. The ram, exactly half as quick. Yep, they're slow, all right. Now, remember that garrison infantry will increase your speed by 0.05. But, yeah, without it, you're really, really slow. All right, so next up on the tier list is the 0.6 tiles per second crew of units. And as you can see here, we have the Siege Ram, the Mangonel line, all of it, and the War Elephant line. By the way, for this video, I'm only talking about, like, the base movement speed, no civ bonuses or modifications, because that can get really complicated really quickly. But yeah, we have Siege Rams a little bit faster, notably, than the Capped Ram and Battering Ram. The Mangonel, its Mangonel Onager, Siege Onager, they are all exactly the same. And the War Elephant and Elite War Elephant, again, same exact thing. They all move at the exact same speed. So, there is the 0.6 tiles per second. Being just a little bit faster, we have the 0.65 tiles per second crew, which is, unfortunately, just this poor little Scorpion line entirely. With very few exceptions, like the Ram line, almost every single unit line in the game retains their exact same speed no matter how many times you upgrade it. What the heck is that? What is that thing doing? Looks like I misplaced it slightly, but yeah, you get the idea. Little bit faster. Alrighty, so going a bit faster still, we move up to the Monk and the Bombard Cannon at 0.7 tiles per second. Look at them go! So yeah, we can see now that, okay, the Bombard Cannons are a little bit faster than all of the other main regular siege units. Alright, moving up to 0.8 tiles per second, we have, well, starting to be a lot of regular-looking units. So we have the unupgraded Villager, not Berbers, not with Wheelbarrow or Handcart, the Trebuchet, the Petard, the Ungarrisoned Siege Tower, the 2 ranged Elephant unique units, the Elephant Archer and Ballista Elephant, and of course the Teutonic Knight. And you can see that they're catching up a little bit in terms of getting to the Spearmen. But all of these guys moving at exactly the same pace at, yeah, 0.8 tiles per second. 1/2 step up at 0.85 tiles per second, we have the Battle Elephant and the Organ Gun. Of course, Khmer Elephants are going to be moving a little bit faster, but the base Battle Elephant, 0.85 Organ Guns, obviously pretty fast for a siege unit, faster than every other siege unit. And the Battle Elephants are also faster than all of the other elephant-y sorts of units. Okay, now we have arrived at 0.9 tiles per second. Now that's when we're looking at, okay, this is like some of the more base unit speed out there. So we have the entire militia line from militia all the way up through champion, the dismounted Konnik, the Flemish Militia, so you can see that Flemish Militia are indeed slower than their regular counterparts, and the Sergeant, which is also slower than most other infantry unique units, but still same speed as the Militia. At 0.96 tiles per second, kind of a weird number, we find pretty much all of the foot archers and foot archery sorts of units. So we have the entire archer line, the entire skirmisher line, including imp skirms, hand cannoneers, slingers, longbowmen, Chukonu, Genoese crossbowmen, and janissaries, just a hair slower than the spearmen. And also very notably, by the way, slower than the basic swordsman line with squires, because that puts them at 0.99, but that's just food for thought. At last, we have finally hit 1 tile per second. Oh boy, getting into some speedy realms here. And indeed, we have the spearman, which is our control group, I guess, as well as the trade cart without Caravan, the spearman, obviously, and then we have 4 infantry unique units with the Jaguar Warrior, Throwing Axeman, Kamyuk, and Samurai. So you can see that all of these guys are faster than their swordsman counterparts, and that is certainly worth considering when you're choosing between going for like swordsmen or jags or whatever. 1/2 step up from the 1 tile per second, we find at 1.05 tiles per second, the Berserk and the Hussar, just a bit faster than the Spearman, and this is certainly a contributing factor to both of these units being very good at raiding, as they are among, the faster foot soldiers in the game. Another 1/2 step up at 1.1 tiles per second, we have the Eagle Scout at all ages, the Missionary, and the Rattan Archer. Notably, again, this is the Eagle Scout, not the Eagle Warrior. These actually do speed up with upgraded, and then you have the Missionary, and then the Rattan Archer. All alone, another 1/2 step up at 1.15 tiles per second, we have the Eagle Warrior, so specifically the Castle Age version. So going from Eagle Scout to Eagle Warrior does give you a 0.05 movement speed buff, and also makes you unique in the unit speed tier list. We have another fairly crowded lineup here at 1.2 tiles per second as we find our first sort of mounted units. And we have the very specifically Dark Age Scout Cavalry. You'll see I'm in Dark Age. And then we have the Condottiero, the Shotel Warrior, the War Wagon, the Karambit Warrior, and the Plumed Archer. Shotels, Karambits, and War Wagons can all be improved by their speed upgrades, as can the Kondo, but the Plumed Archer cannot. Just again, something to consider. Again, all alone, and another 1/2 step up, we have the Gbeto at 1.25 tiles per second. So, a little bit faster than almost all of the other infantry units in the game. Obviously, the Gbeto, very important part of the unit, is its ability to raid, and it is quite quick. At 1.3 tiles per second, we get that sort of goofy transition phase between the fastest foot soldiers and the slower cavalry units, with the Elite Eagle Warrior, which notably regular Eagle Warrior in Castle Age 1.15 tiles per second, now we're up to 1.3, and then we have the Arambai, Boyar, Conquistador, and Flaming Camel. The Eagle Warrior, of course, benefits from squires, and the 4 other ones do benefit from husbandry, so they can all be made a little bit faster. We have a big sort of benchmark movement speed at 1.35 as the sort of standard for cavalry units, as we have the Nightline, the Genitour, the Shotel Warrior, the Konnik, the Cataphract, the Coustillier, and the Tarkan. So Knights, Genitours, a Knight clone, and then 4 sort of medium to heavy cavalry unique units. Ever so slightly faster at 1.38 tiles per second, we have the Woad Raider. Now, admittedly, I am cheating a little bit here, because this is taking into account the Celt speed bonus when I'm not doing that with any of the other units. However, there is no legitimate situation in any sort of game where you can get the Woad Raider without also having the Celt speed bonus. So that's why we're getting 1.38 here for the Woad Raider, so faster than a Knight without Husbandry and all of those other units. However, once they do get Husbandry, they will be faster than the Woad Raider. But still, the Woad Raider will clock in as our very fastest infantry unit. Alrighty, so now that we're at 1.4, we're really getting to some of the speediest land units in the game. But we have the Cav Archer, Camel Archer, Kipchak, Leitis, newly nerfed Mangudai, Keshik, and Mameluke. So, notably, Kipchaks can get faster than all of the others with the Cumin, speed bonus. However, I can't really give them that by default because you can get Kipchaks with any civ via Cumin mercenaries. And then all of the other ones I think are pretty straightforward. The Mameluke and Camel Archer, notably slower than the regular Camel. That we'll get to in just a second. Now we're getting to the sort of top 3 of the very fastest land units. But at 1.45 tiles per second, again another little half step up, we find ourselves with the Camel line and the Steppe Lancer. Camel line also includes Imp Camels, in case you were wondering, and of course the Steppe Lancer is, well, the Steppe Lancer. So again, just a little bit faster than even Cav Archers. At 1.5 tiles per second, we have a whole 50% increase over the Spearmen over here, as well as the second fastest units in the game, on land of course, and we will have the Light Cav and the Hussar, notably, specifically those 2 units, the Magyar Hussar, and naturally the same as the Light Cav line, and then again, I'm cheating a little bit here with the trade cart with Caravan, and I'm not including like husbandry and squires and all that stuff because that would be very, very confusing. But the thing is, Caravan is just such a drastic difference in terms of movement speed that I still thought it would be helpful to see compared to, you know, okay, you're moving as fast as a Light Cav and a Magyar Hussar without husbandry. So very, very, very speedy units. And finally, at 1.55 tiles per second, we find ourselves with the single fastest standard land unit base movement speed, and that is the Scout Cavalry. Yes, the Scout Cavalry in Feudal Age onwards. So Feudal Age, Castle Age, Imperial Age, these guys have a movement speed of 1.55 tiles per second, even faster than a Light Cav and a Hussar for some reason. I don't know, it is the way it is. And yes, that is going to be the Scout Cavalry being the very fastest land-moving-y unit in the game. Alrighty, now that we have gone through all the different land unit movement speed, it's time for one final comparison. I have one representative of each, I guess, bracket, tier if you will, of unit movement speed represented, and we're now going to see them go in a pretty little diagonal. Look at them go! Look at all of this relative movement speedness. And you can see it, like, once you start getting to these lower numbers, oh boy, does it take disproportionately longer to get anywhere. Look at that battering ram. And there we go. So guys, that is going to be all of the different sort of base movement speeds for land units. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like, and I will see you guys next time.